Welcome people on Internet. My name is Tyler. Today I'm going to show you guys my Bumblebee G1 rig. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so before we jump into the actual rig, I just want to talk about the outliner really quick. So I have a collection for the geometry, rig, and grease pencil. I have the grease pencil turned off by default as it is just really laggy. I have all of these modifiers which you can adjust to your liking. I'm going to turn that off. And then I have a do not touch folder that just has all of the text and rig icons needed for this project. Okay, we're going to hop into the rig. Okay, so jumping into the rig here, I'm just going to hit Control Tab to go into pose mode. We have the robot rig box, which you can translate, rotate, and then also scale. And I have 4 categories of visibility: FK, IK, individual, and geo. For the FK, as you can see here, all of these have the same setup, and all of these are located within the bone properties under custom properties. These will be hidden by default, I believe. So just open that up. And then for the individual, these are all just controls that I feel like don't fit between the IK and FK. And then lastly, the visibility for all of the geo, as you can see. Now going into the IK, FK functionality, this rig has left arm and right arm, left leg, right leg capabilities, as you can see. Okay, going to switch those back off. Going into the wheel controls for this one, I just have this text doesn't do anything. The control is actually on the tire itself. And I have an auto wheel rotation, which we'll kind of get into later, for the transformation, and then also a wheel speed multiplier. Going down to the weapon controls here, we have the gun. So I have just some automated bones to where you can blend together, and then the gun will automatically go to a set position, as you can see. And the set position, once you set it, you can also further adjust this. This is the gun placement bone, that is what it's called. And then I also have it to where by default the magazine is attached to the gun, and just for the case of ease of use. And then when you, for say, need to reload the actual gun, you can set this to where it will move with the robot transformation, as you can see here. Makes it a little bit easier that way. And by default, this is set to 1. Let's reset that. Okay, so now we're going to go into the transform. This is also another controller. The transform text doesn't do anything. We go into the actual arrow. This is where all the transformation settings are. So first up, to actually transform him correctly, you have to make sure that all of these all of these values here are set to 0, or else the transformation will not work correctly, as the transformation uses all of the FK bones, as the IK is just jank when I use it. So I prefer to use FK with the transformation. So make sure all of these are set to 0, and then you can transform him, as you can see here. Really quick, I just wanted to show you what happens if the transformation is just all broken and out of place. Most likely it's because in the custom properties for the transform controller, all of these values are set to 1 besides the car transform. So if I set this to 1 now, as you can see, it's just kind of broken. So all you need to do is just highlight all of these and then scoot all of these to 0, and now everything is working correctly. And now just individually going through all these settings here. This is the head track. So I have it to where you can either control the head through this neck bone here, and you can also control it through this controller, just so that if you want to move the torso without moving the head, as you can see, you have that option there. And then going back here, I have some preset limits for the robot mode and then for the car form. So that's what that is. And then all of these are just to help with the car transformation to work correctly. Okay, so now we're just going to move on to the mouth phonemes rig box. Pretty simple. For all of these, I have all of these vowels here, and I'm just going to show you in the render view, just as in the normal view, the mouth is kind of hard to see. So I'm going to go here. Try and get a zoom in here. So these are all just phonemes, as you can see. All I need to do is just slide it over. It does really help to use this rig using local, as it blocks. I have the transform locks, and they don't show that on global, so on local they show that. So as you can see, and then they have a max value of 1 for all of these, as you can see. And then if we go down to the special ones, these are just kind of like special mouth poses, as you can see. Pretty simple, not too horribly complicated. And then same with the other rig box, you can rotate this, translate it, and then also scale. Okay, now we're just going to jump into the actual functionality of the rig. Okay, so just jump into the rig here. We have the global transform. As you can see, you can translate, rotate, and scale. And then going to the robot transform here, just in case you wanted to parent your character to a chair, you can do that. And then to the gun here, you can scale this up if you need. Has the trigger and then the magazine. And just kind of going down here, we have the individual foot controller and then the IK controller, which is currently not turned on, so it's not going to do anything. And then the knee IK controller as well. And then we're going to go back here. This is the back bumper controller and then the backlight controller. Now with these front wheels here, there is an auto controller and then a manual controller. This is more so just for all the automation. So the manual controller is where you would do auto adjustments, or if you need to just work on something. This one is just there for my purposes of editing things. And as you can see, this will rotate, translate, and then also scale up and down. Okay, so just going up, we have the left leg, or the lower leg, and then the upper leg, as you can see here. And then I've included a hip pivot, just in case you need to get a little bit extra movement. I have not made this to where there is weight painting, as it works with the transform, the car transform. So if you just need a little bit more movement, you can have that. And then this is the COG/car control, which I'll get into here in a second. And just kind of going up here, we have the middle torso, just in case you need a little bit more movement there. And then the lower torso, and then the upper torso. Just kind of going up. We have the head base. I'm actually going to turn off the head track, just for the cases of this. As you can see, it goes up and down. And then the neck controller. And this is if you have the track off. So if you have the track on, you would control the movement from this controller. And then I've included just a little bit of eye movement, not too much, but there is something there. And then going from that, we're going to go on the side. These are the head covers. This is only used for the car transformation, as when this goes down, I like to have a cover over that. And then we'll just go to the arm here, and then we'll go back. This is the wheel well for the back. And then we have the upper shoulder, and then the arm. And then I have a controller in here. As you can see, this is for the turbine. This is for the inside of the actual engine, or the back engine part. And then going down here, we have the lower arm. And then this smaller cube, this is the IK, and again, the IK is not on, so it's not going to do anything. And then the elbow IK. And then we have the base of the hand, so you can just store that up. And then the usual palm, thumb controllers. And this one I've added some palm bending, just so you can get a little bit more interesting knuckle positioning. And then the fingers automatically bend, and the nice thing about this is that you can still edit the positions if needed. And that is for all of the fingers. The thumb does not have that. Thumb is just manually posed. Okay, so now we're just going to go back here, So the wheels, same idea as these wheels down here. You have the auto controller and then the manual controller where you can rotate and move them. And then we have this little fake wheel here, so I included just same controls. This one does not have auto and auto controller, just normal. And then these are just some cubes that are mostly used for the car transformation. Okay, so now I'm just going to transform him really quick here. Okay, so we're just going to hop into the tire here. I'm going to bump this up a little, just a tad, and then make sure that auto wheel rotation is on. And then we're going to just select the COG/car controller. And then as you can see, the wheels now move automatically. And then if you need to, you can always manually rotate them, and then also turn them from this controller as well. And also if you need, you can rotate it, or just rotate them individually as well. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys on the next video.